The left camera?
No, it's my environment.
Huh?
My environment. My environment. Right here. That's business economics.
Any pictures of her?
Okay, as long as I got those two cards in my recent area, I can go.
So could you like do graphic on videos? You could do that? I mean,
There's 3 graphics pictures already up here.
if I want to record something, so my production is like, we can do it right. I mean, I get my like video input cables.
Yeah, you can also, matter of fact, there's one student here who came in from Portland like last semester, takes his video camera and digitizes images onto HyperCard. Matter of fact, it's probably the same way they did those other pictures too. This is something you guys might be using in a few years.
We're going to use
You'll eventually come across this later on. It's kind of some other ideas besides IBM.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. She's not going to get embarrassed.
No problem.
We're ready to do iPods.
Basically what this program is called HyperCard, and if you ever buy a Macintosh in the future, it will come with your Macintosh. This is the original home card. This isn't the one we're going to be using. But imagine if you have like a stack of index cards, like you work with your reports. Imagine a stack of index cards on a computer, and you basically got the idea behind this program. Now what this basically is basically your whole control area for running a Macintosh. You can use this program to do just about everything. And this isn't the one we're going to work out of. I'm going to show you the one I'm going to work out of today. This is the one we're going to work out of today. This is one of the things you can do on this. This is an entire basically environment, something that I can operate it on a computer that I've basically done myself. What we're going to do is going to look at 3 different areas that you'll probably be seeing this in the future. One is kind of like an English type application, like teaching purposes, testing, things like that. The second one is help for a French class, and the third one going to show you some art stuff, get an idea of what you can do art-wise. We're going to do the English one first. And basically what it is, I've got a list of answers that I can put on this, to answer on this test. Now it gives me a definition here, and what I do is I take one of these words and I'll put it in this answer box, and then if the word's right, it'll tell me it's a right answer. If not, it'll tell me it's a wrong answer. So let's pick one right now. The thing here is absurd, and I want to answer ludicrous, which is down here. You can see it, so I'll put in that. And I'll enter that answer, and it'll tell me whether it's right or wrong. In this case, it's a right answer. And then I'll keep going. There's 29 words in this particular test here. And I'll answer a wrong one just to show you what it does. If it's a wrong one, it tells me incorrect. And then it'll keep going. At all times, you always have this list to refer to when you're doing something like this. Yes, funk does mean panic. Okay, and then in the end, well, let me do it. And then in the end, it'll give you a summary of how you do. This grade's not correct, there's an error somewhere. But it tells you how many correct answers you have, how many wrong ones you have, the total number of questions you answered. There's 29 total, we only answered 3. And then it gives you a percentage and then your grade. In this case, it would be a D, not a B. That's one idea of the things you could do. The second one we're going to do. Second one we're going to do, how many people are in French? I got 1, 2. What's the first thing you learn is how to conjugate verbs, right? There's like 3 different forms and you get the conjugate. This one does it for you, and I'll show you how it works. The French conjugator. This is one of the major projects I did this year. And what it does, if in basic programming, it's a little bit easier to look at. But what this does is that when you type in an infinitive of a word, you know, like your original verb, it'll look at the last 2 letters of it, and then there's in the stack itself, this particular program, or stack as they call it in HyperCard language, there's a table of the different patterns that you can use for conjugating the verbs. And this is just an information thing for those who may not be familiar. It says that the application has in its own memory conjugation patterns, like the different ways you would conjugate a verb, for the different forms of the French verbs, which are ER, IR, and RE. I put IR, ISS because remember, if those who got French, there's like 2 different ways to do it. The standard way of doing it is with the ISS in there. You know what I'm talking about later. The user, you will enter the infinitive of the verb, the original verb, and then you press the conjugate button later, and it'll conjugate the verb for you and it'll show it, and then later on you can save it in a file and print it out. And basically what that one does is almost the same thing. There's 2 different playing voices that come with this. You can add others as you go if you want, but that requires another program. Let's see, let's go back to our home card. Take this one. Now for some graphics. That's what you guys are doing right now. Some of the graphics. What we did with the HyperCard program, the stuff that came with it, they actually took some pictures, and what they did, what they call digitizing, which means they put them in a form that that you can see them on a computer. And these are just 3 of them that they used. Now, if I want to, I can take this card and cut it, figuratively cut it, and put it in another program or another stack, as they call it. And these are just some ones that they came with. And then you can also do some movement, which I'll show you one of these cards here. So you can make movement with it. Now the commands for moving stuff is real simple. Matter of fact, I'll show you the script on this one. You know, those of you who remember, like if you wanted to move something on a graphics, you have to like redo it over and over again. Well, this one, it basically says drag from one location on the screen to another. Basically what it does when you're doing graphics is you basically, like when you take the mouse in like a paint program when you're drawing on the computer, when you take the mouse and you move it from one place to another, and it draw the line there. Basically what this script does is it does the same thing, but the computer does it for you. The computer does all the movements of the mouse. Then we said the result is, let me show you this real quick, this is a good one. How many of you guys are familiar with like Mac Paint?
This is the kind of thing you'd be able to set up the programming you're doing now. A series of displays on the screen. Whatever you create.
And you have your own effects. Whoever's got, when you look at the book towards the back, there's a effect called visual effect, like the different dissolving type effects are built into the system. You don't need to do complicated programming and things like that to make that same effect. The shadows I drew it myself, but like the different effects, there are like so many different effects that come with it. There's the dissolve, which you see here. You can tell how fast you want it to do it. For example, the command I use to go between cards is I will say visual effect dissolve very slow, and it does just that. It's simple English. Yeah,
That's assuming you're good.
Sound digitizer device, special Macintosh software, and they actually give you the address for some of these video. You can do voice if you have a sound, like the sound digitizer, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. I've seen some program. I've seen one program, an educational program. It's not HyperCard based, but where they have a picture of the person's like like teaching little kids how to talk, how to do different vowels and consonants and things like that. And they had a picture of like a guy up in the corner, and what they did is they actually animated the guy so you see him move his lips and talk, and you would hear the sound, the voice. Like you know, each particular part of the word and pronouncing the whole word together. And then there's like 2 programs I know of that do that. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, you can put like a movie.
So anyways, I can take like my other applications that I have on here, like Microsoft Works. I can't do it on this one because I didn't format it for this particular system, but I can do it if I let's see, Microsoft. Like I say, I open Microsoft Works, and it'll actually go into Microsoft Works application and do it. And then when I quit Microsoft Works, it'll go back to that home card. So, for example, I'll quit again, and it'll go back. This is the home card that's on this drive, so it'll go back to whichever drive it was on. Normally, because the main thing is since I have 2 copies of HyperCard, I don't know which home card it's going to go to. But in most cases, I have just my one HyperCard copy, which is the Okay, now?